In a poll conducted by Euronews and IPSOS, more than 70% of Europeans agree the EU should provide assistance to Ukraine. Since the beginning of the war, the EU and its member states have provided €93 billion in financial, military, humanitarian and refugee aid to Ukraine, which is suffering from Russian aggression. This is supplemented by the €50 billion aid the EU leaders decided on at the beginning of February. According to Sven Biskop, director of the Brussels-based Egmont Institute, the EU has no choice but to support Ukraine's struggle for territorial defence, as Ukraine has become a candidate for EU membership.
The EU has made an unprecedented step. We have made a country that is at war a candidate for EU membership. We have never done that. That means we have now assumed the responsibility for the survival of an independent Ukraine on as large a territory as possible. So having made this important geopolitical decision, we have now no choice but to stick with Ukraine.
The data shows that Scandinavian countries agree with the support of Ukraine far above the EU average, with 68% of Swedish people thinking support is important. Only 12% of Hungarians agree, as voters of the far-right Identity and Democracy group are the least committed in general to supporting Ukraine. Biskop suggests that this link is due to the influence of Russian disinformation and that Ukraine is reliant on foreign assistance in order to defeat Russia.
I find it surprising that many far-right parties, which claim to be nationalists, allow themselves to be willingly instrumentalized by Russia and mislead their voters. I mean, if they were sincere, caring about the national interest, they would see that these are interests to support Ukraine and not to help spread Russian disinformation within the EU.
The gap between aid the EU has committed to Ukraine and what has been allocated remains large, with €77 billion allocated from the 144 promised.